Alrighty, so welcome to our team happy hour, y'all. This is the last one in freaking June. Mind blown. Like, can you guys even freaking believe that June is almost over? Like, we're over halfway through the year. Right? Like, breathe. But I just want to tell you guys, I know, so I'm not going to share our leaderboard right now because honestly I didn't get it done, but I wanted to say, like, if you're not in Success Club right now, or if you're not, haven't changed 3 lives, or if you haven't even changed 1 life, do not count yourself out, because I will not tell you guys how many times, like, I didn't think I was going to do it, or I wasn't going to hit my goal, and I literally stayed up until freaking midnight Eastern Standard Time on that last day, and it happened. Don't ask me how it happened, by the faith of God, but it happened. And so I really just kind of want you to instill that power into you and saying, don't just say, well, okay, this month is already like basically over. Like, it's not worth me trying it. I'm just going to do it next month. Or I have 1 person, but I'm only at Success Club 2, so it's not really going to get me Success Club 4, 5. So you know what? Like, I'm just gonna go ahead and save them for next month. Do not get into that scarcity mentality, because that is where you're really going to start depriving yourself of success. I always say, once you come with an abundance mentality, and a lot of people are like, well, Allie, you hit such high Success Club numbers. And I will say it's all because I have this abundance mentality. If somebody wants me to transform their life, I'm going to do it right there and there. I'm not going to strategize, not going to try to say, well, do you want to wait until the next of the month or this or that? I'm just going to have faith that my work ethic and that God is going to provide the next month, and that I'm going to be able to transform lives that month. And so I really want you to go into it with that mentality. And then also, if you're sitting at Success Club 2, that's 2 more lives. If you're sitting at Success Club 4 right now, there's no way in hell that you should allow yourself to end there, because that is just kind of a slap in your face. And I'm going to be brutally honest right there, that if you're ending Success Club 4, then you're basically saying, I don't give 2 shits about my business. I'm just kind of having fun right now, because we know that Success Club is our baseline. That is why they call it Success Club. That's not something to strive for. It should be your minimum. And then you go from there. I say we always are striving for Success Club 10, but minimum is Success Club 5. And so if you're new, that's 3 lives changed, 3 challenge packs. And that's completely possible, but only if you believe. Okay. So I am like done talking. That was my little spiel. Just saying, it ain't over until it's over. I joined February 25th, and by February 28th, I had hit Success Club. That was 3 days. Y'all got a whole week. I don't want to hurt it. Okay. So I wanted to welcome Alexandra. I chatted on her team call the other week. She had messaged me on Instagram. She'd been following me. We made a connection. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm totally digging your vibe. And she has been so successful at the young little coach that she is. Young little coach, like, that's me too. But she's also a young little coach, and she's Canadian. So if she says like I or A or whatever, just ignore it. It's just Canadians talk. But she was a success starter, meaning that she hit Success Club every single month for her first 3 months, which Katie just did this month and last month and the month before. So homegirl's a success starter too. Sorry. And she's at Success Club 12 this month. Like, where the fuck did that come from? But she's also went diamond in just 2 months. Or was it a month? You said 2, right? 2, yeah. But she went emerald literally in 24 hours. And I host emerald in 24-hour calls to let you guys know that if you're sitting at a regular coach, if you're sitting at just a regular coach, that means you have bought your business, but you have not had your grand opening yet. And you can literally have your grand opening 24 hours from now. I say signing up as a coach is like buying that building, but signing up 2 coaches under you is like putting all that stuff in that building and cutting that grand opening. That means you're open for business. That means you are actually an established coach right now. And so she's going to chat all about just success from the start, leading from the front, and some of her prime tips for really being successful as a new coach. So I'm going to mute myself.
Hi, thank you. All right. Hey, everybody. So like she said, I'm Alex. I'm Canadian. And it's funny when she asked me, tell me something about you. I was like, I don't know. I'm Canadian. So anyways, it's funny that you mentioned that. Okay. So tonight I'm going to talk to you guys about just continuously showing up and not stopping. So like, no matter what it is, we are showing up. So you guys are here in this call tonight. That means that you guys are ready to show up. But real quick, before we do start that, just going off of what Ali was saying, it is not the end of the month. And so many times people think like there's 1 month left. I'm going to wait till next month to do my goals. Heck no, you can't be doing that. You have to keep going until the last hour of the month. And that is how you're going to lock in your Success Club and doing all those great things. Also, when I started this, my goal was Success Club 5. And I just I did that for months and months and months. And then sometimes I was getting 10. And then one day, like 4 months ago, I was like, why am I not striving for more? So I was like, I'm going to put my goal to Success Club 20. And when I did that, I hit it. And then the next month I did it again. And then I hit it. And then I started doing it with mine and my husband's account. And it's like, you just put that goal there and you work towards that instead of the 5. And it just works. You just make the goal and you make it work. You do not go to bed until it works. And believe me, you just do it and it will work. So that is not at all what I was talking about, but that's what came to mind when she was talking. So let me share my screen with you guys.
We have another PowerPointer person. My team knows that I literally cannot focus without a PowerPoint. Like literally, I'm like the biggest squirrel ever.
All right, this is working? Yeah, okay. So yes, my name is Alexandra Willett, and this is how I continue to show up. So these are my top 5 things. And I must say the first 4 months of my business was really awesome. Like I was hitting goals, I was advancing really quick, and then it just all of a sudden just stopped. And I don't know if it's because I was getting to my cold market or what it was, but like my success just stopped and I was like, holy shit, what the hell? And then I kind of was like, I'm quitting. This is too hard. Like, nah, this is not for me. I almost literally pulled the plug because it seemed so easy at first and people were attracting and there was all these people, everything was happening. I was hitting diamond. And then when I wasn't able to hit the 1, 2, 3, 5-star diamond that I had planned, I was like, oh my God, I felt like such a failure. So I wanted to quit, but I decided that I'm going to switch things up. And these are the top 5 things that I continuously keep in my mind every single day that I do. I teach to my team, and this is really what has been working for me these last 4 months. I went from having a team of me, my husband, everybody that I know that I controlled, to a team of like 7, 8 girls that I don't control anymore. Like they are actual people working the business. It's not just me. So that feels amazing. And I'm going to tell you guys kind of how I did that and how I show up to attract people like that. So number 1, the first thing that I had to decide to do when I joined and every single day is to choose a transformation and make it happen and show people that it is possible to happen. Whatever that transformation is for you is probably why you joined the business. I joined the business to lose weight. That was my transformation. I needed it. So that's what I did. And that's what I make work. And that's what people watch and they see that it actually happens, right? You can tell people that these products are freaking amazing, that everything is freaking amazing. But if they don't see it happening, they're not really going to believe you because there's no actual truth. You believe what you see much quicker than what you hear, right? So you have to be showing up and show them that transformation is happening. So I have girls on my team that don't have weight to lose. Hold on, I'm going to take my earrings out because they keep clicking on my headphones as I talk. I have girls on my team and they don't have any weight to lose. Maybe they want to gain weight and like tone muscle because they're very petite people. So I tell them, well, what's your transformation? Why did you join? And show that as your transformation. So even if the transformation is all in the mind and it's like, I feel completely shitty and I need to work on my mind and working out makes me feel good, well, show that transformation. So you could show a picture of yourself, maybe like not feeling so good, and then one with you have a lot of energy. So maybe your transformation is energy. Whatever it is, have one and make sure that you show people that it is possible. And everybody who meets that sort of transformation will be the people that you attract. So I continuously show that transformation because people are watching. They're watching to see if you're succeeding. Does this actually work? And maybe the first few months of my business, the people that trusted me were the ones that made me succeed at first. But the people now that are onboarding on my team, onboarding in my challenge groups, I have no idea who these people are. They're the people trusting that this is working because I'm showing them that it is working. Number 2, energy. if you are not showing up with energy, you are freaking boring, okay? So this is why I love Allie, because she has a lot of energy, and I feel like energy is like what this business needs, right? So if I'm showing up in my stories and I'm not happy and I'm not giving it my all, then people are just gonna flick through me and they're not gonna wanna see what I'm up to because I'm no fun. So one tip that I do all the time, sounds kind of crazy, but I do it. Every night when I lay in bed, I watch my own stories. Some nights I'm like giggling and I'm like, yeah, I'm so freaking funny. I'm amazing. Then I know I'm doing my job right. Days that I'm like, nah, and I go to bed and I'm like, tomorrow I need to show up way better than I did today because I'm fucking boring and nobody is going to watch me. So you have to watch your own stories. If you don't want to watch your own stories, ain't nobody else going to want to watch your own stories, okay? So watch your stories when you go to bed at night. And I've also had this happen so many times. People tell me, they're like, I watch your stories on mute and I love them. So people don't even give a shit what I'm saying. They just like watching that I'm having fun. So I just like screenshotted this from my story the other night. And like, you're smiling, you're having fun. If I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, guys, like, and just talking and being like, no energy in my face, no expressions, people be like, click through that, right? Nobody watches that. That's so boring. And here's another quick tip about energy. Don't have it for like 6 slides in a row because that is too much. So you have to really focus your energy on a few slides, give them a picture and then a little bit more, okay? So don't give it too much. And don't be scared to be you in your stories. So just be goofy, be you. Don't put filters. Be that person that you are, that your family sees, that your best friend sees, that the people that have known you, went to high school with you, or whatever age you are, people that know you in your real life, that real fun side of you that maybe doesn't come out all the time, but that person who you want to be, or that fun person who you admire yourself to be that person, because you know what? Ain't nobody care. You don't even know these people to your side. So that's why I tell my coaches, I'm like, just have fun with it, right? And it's gone in how many hours? 24? So if it's not fun, you have 24 hours to restart, right? So stories are freaking amazing, and bring that energy to the stories. 3, so you have to let people know what you are doing up from your page. That's my husband, there's my bathroom. So when they come to your page, they got to know what's going on. They got to know what you're doing. When you start a new program, let people know you're starting a new program. When you're in the midst of a program, let them know. When you're struggling, let them know. But also, they have to know there is something that they can buy into. So I'm going to talk about this later, but when I invite somebody, I don't be like, hey, I'm a health and fitness coach and I run boot camps and they're all about health and fitness and come and have fun. No, I'm like, hey, you want to join my fit club? Because I talk about it. They know what I'm inviting them to because I talk about it all the time. And I'm not, like, people need to know there is something happening on your page that can service them. You're not just a fun person showing up. You have a business. This is your business page. So there has to be something that shows them that you're doing it. So here's just a picture of me with my step. Anyone in the world who knows anything about Beachbody knows that we launched that program in the last year. So they see that step right away. They know that I'm a Beachbody coach. And I'm talking about how I'm going to start that again. And I'm inviting everyone to my summer party. Sorry. I see like little things dingling at the bottom, but anyways. So show up as the person you want to be. This is like the one thing that flipped my entire business. I read Build to Last. I read that book, and when I was reading it, it's like something clicked in me that I was not showing up as the person that I was showing up as the person trying to get to where I want to be, not as the person who I wanted to be. And when I started showing up as that person, I started attracting coaches like crazy. When I read that book, just reading that book, I probably onboarded my entire team because I was so fired up about where I can get with this business, what I have to offer. Just 1 second. Anyways, so you have to be showing up. So here, for example, I showed like just a screenshot of one of my posts, and I'm saying this girl is on fire. My team is doing really, really big things. Well, I think maybe when I put that post that like something real small happened, like nothing huge, but I'm just showing up like big things are happening. I'm showing up as the person that I want to be. People don't need to know that I'm only a diamond coach. They don't even know what that means. They just know that I'm running a kick-ass business with really cool people and we're having fun. And that's how I'm showing up. I'm not showing up anywhere else other than that. And I think that when I started showing up that way, that's when people started attracting to my business. And then when they jumped in, I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, this is a small team and this is what's going on. But they're still really attracted to that vibe. So I think that you really need to show up as that person. And 5, talk about yourself. So I used to do this all the time. And I feel like a lot of times people on board as a coach and you script out this big long post and you have it like saved and you're posting it and it's like perfect, and then you're like, nobody likes it. For me, this was happening. And then I would post this like something really quick on the fly because I had no time, about my real life and about me, and everybody loved it. Everybody loved when I was sharing about me, but nobody cared when I was like giving advice and shouting, like screaming in their face. I was like, you can join me because it's $20 off this month and you need to get off the couch because you will feel so much better. Nobody wants to hear that. But if I'm like, hey, I got off the couch, I feel so much better, and I'm so happy I did this, people are like, oh, okay, she's telling her story and it's working for her. I don't need to tell them, join me. They already want to join me because it's working for me. So many times I have to tell my coaches, stop yelling at people in your posts and start talking to yourself and just sharing your story. And that is enough. Don't be telling people what to do. Nobody wants to hear what to do. So yeah, on this post, I'm talking about me. If someone would have told me, this is all about me, this is my page and this is my story, and people will totally love that way more than if had this post been like, hey, it's only $200, guys. Like, you can do it. And like, you know what I mean? So it's really about telling your story. So now I don't plan my posts. I'm totally what I'm feeling that day. I don't follow any rules. There's no Motivation Monday going on my page. There's no Transformation Tuesday. There's no Wisdom Wednesday, Truth Thursday, Throwback, whatever. There is none of that. If I'm not feeling that on that day, I don't post it. I post how I'm feeling, and people love that. They love knowing, like, if I'm not going to force a Transformation Tuesday if I'm not feeling transformed on that Tuesday. You know what I mean? So if I'm feeling hot on a Friday and I want to post a transformation picture on a Friday, that is the day I'm going to post it. So I really post how I'm feeling and I tell my story, and I feel like people just relate to that a million times more than me trying to run a business and telling people what to do and following all this crazy stuff that, God bless my coach and I love her, but she gave me this like map of when to post about coaching, when to post about this, and I was like, this is not working, just do you. So you have to be doing you. Okay, so those are my top 5 tips. I'm going to give you one last one, and then real quickly I'm going to go over my onboarding process and how I'm able to onboard these people so quickly now compared to how I was doing it before, and then I will be done. So my bonus tip to you guys is be your brand. And if you don't know what your brand is yet, you need to figure out what the heck your brand is. So I didn't know this at first, and I was like, oh my God, like, I don't have a brand. I'm a normal, like, Canadian little girl. I have nothing going on here. But then I started looking at my page and I was like, what do I talk about all the time? Why did I join this? What's going on? And for me, my transformation was to lose weight. But what happened in the process is that I completely fell in love with myself and how I'm feeling during this process, which led me to loving my body, regardless if I don't have a 6-pack or the beautiful stomach that I wish I had some days, but I will never have because I had 2 kids and I was obese. Like, that is my life, and that is what I'm going to live with. And that is what I love now. That is what I love about my body. And when I talk about this kind of shit, people love it. So I just embrace it, and I don't overcomplicate it. Again, you just literally need to be showing up all the time and talking about real life. And that's all I do. Nothing complicated, and it's working. It works. I'm constantly hitting, like, I'm always on the leadership board on my team, and people keep asking, what are you doing? And it's so simple. Be you, be your brand, be you, nothing else. Don't try to be me. Don't go posting a picture of your roles after this call and being like, oh, I love my roles. If you don't love your roles, you have to be you. And that, once you figure that out, your mind will change and things will change in the business. I promise you, that will be like the shift. It was the shift for me anyways, when I started showing up as me and really just doing that. It's unbelievable the difference that I've had. I was like, how do I get coaches? Now I'm like, yes, this is amazing. Like, it works. It finally works. So that is what I've been doing. Yeah, and I just kind of talk about my awesome mom bod, and that's what people like on my page, and that is my brand. So find your brand, and that's my tips. So my onboarding process, I don't know how anyone else invites, and I know that some people like the connections, and there's a 5-3-2-1 method or whatever. Again, there's so much stuff out there. I feel like we're given way too much in this business, way too much. And we need to just be like, simple, 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 simple. So what I did is I took like an entire coach academy that my coach gave me, which my brain loved. I did the whole thing, but my coaches were like, who got time for that? Nobody was doing it. I literally took it and I simplified it to a checklist. So things need to be simple, simple, simple. And that's what's going to make it work. There's no overcomplicating shit, because that is just too much for my life. So my invites are really, really simple. Like I said a while ago, I'll be like, hey, Alex, I'm currently putting girls in my health and fitness, or in my boot camp, or whatever you guys call it. I call it a fit club. I'm currently putting people in my fit club. Did you want info on how you can get a spot? Simple. Like, it's nothing more than a line. If there's like more than 2 lines going on, I feel like people are going to open that and be like, who is this girl? Why is she talking so much to me? And they close it. That's what I do when people send me big, long messages on Facebook or Instagram. So it's super, super simple. 1 line, what are you doing? And you know what? If you're not doing your job talking about what all this is about, they'll just ask. They'll be like, well, like, what the heck is that? Like, what are you talking about? And then you can tell them, you know what I mean? So I do the simple invite. Once they say, whatever they say, yes or no, I go to the next thing. So I have a blog post where I talk all about my boot camps, and at the bottom there's an application. So I'll say, okay, girl, like, I can talk a lot. Obviously, you can see this from my stories. So just check out my blog. You'll get all the information, and then don't forget to fill out the application at the bottom. I'll learn so much more about you, and I'll be able to onboard you the right way. So then they do that, and then there's a form in my email, and then from the form, I have an email template that I send back to them. From their answers, I recommend a program, and then they pick which challenge pack they want to start with. So easy. So easy. Everyone goes through the same process. This is kind of like a template of my email. I did switch it up a little bit because I added more than the challenge packs, because I'm trying to upsell volume and stuff like that. So I'm adding the bod with the sample packs now, rather than just the 3 challenge packs. And that's just if they have money objections. If they don't, I stick to this, but if they do, then I go to my other email. This is an old slide. And that's how it goes. And on this email that I send them, when I started adding that step 1 to 5, people were so much more ready to jump on. And I don't know if that just boils down to simplifying it again, but I was like, 1, choose your pack. 2, tell me this. 3, that. And then people were just following the steps and onboarding. Whereas before, if there was too much back and forth emails, I was losing them. So I got real simple. This is how you got to do it. They'd answer it, and then I'd send them a share cart, and that's how it went. So to follow up, if I sent them the blog and they didn't pop in my email with an application, so it made my follow-up so much easier. I just messaged them and I'd be like, hey, I didn't get your application. How come? Instead of being like, hey, just checking how you're doing. I want to know, like this big, long conversation. That's not me. And I don't have time for that. And like, really, I don't know these people, So I find it kind of weird when other people message me from other companies and they're like, hey, did you like check out my necklaces? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't like that. I just don't. So I'm super simple. Hey, why didn't you fill out my application? And then they'll say, oh, I don't want to do it. Or oh my God, I forgot or whatever. And then that opens up the door to actually talk about why they didn't do it. And that just works. It just works for me. And it's just so simple. And it simplified my entire life because like I said, from month like 4 to like 8 for me was like really hard. And then once I started switching things up, it was like, bam, bam, life is so much better. So we're going to end with this. You have to be, and I'm telling you what I'm telling this, don't post about this, but you have to be confident. You have to be confident in yourself. If you do not believe that you are not going to be a top team, you are not going to run a top team. If you don't believe you're not going to hit Success Club 20 this month, you are not going to hit Success Club 20. You have to believe in yourself and tell yourself that you can. You have to, because if you ain't believing and you ain't, nobody gonna want to join with someone who doesn't even believe in themselves. Because like we're trying to get help from our coaches, right? So if I can't show up like I'm a badass, then I can't help other people become badasses. So you have to be confident in yourself and go right now. This is a homework because I'm very tactical and I like very easy things to happen. Go on your page and look at like your last 6 to 9 Instagram, whatever, and be like, would I join this person? Like, is this person someone really cool that I would join? And if you wouldn't be totally attracted and wanting to join you, then you have to switch shit up because it's not working. Like I said, same thing with the stories. Watch your stories every single night. Are my stories really fun? No? Well, then switch it up. You have the next day to switch it up every single day. You can start showing up and switching shit up if you have to. So go look at your social media. Would you join your team? If the answer is yes, maybe you can go to bed. If the answer is no, start doing something different. That is it. That's me. Thank you.
Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh. So hold on, let me pin so. I freaking loved all of your tips. I think the biggest thing is just being yourself and just showing up unapologetically you, whatever that is. And absolutely. I personally do not watch my stories to this day. Like I don't rewatch them. I think I sound like a man. I absolutely hate myself when I sound. So I don't even rewatch them. So kudos to you for actually sitting in bed and like finding entertainment out of it. I like cringe at the thought of having to watch myself
every night. I like look forward to it.
Throw up. And my husband, he'll literally lay in the bed right next to me and watch him. And I'm like, I'm going to divorce you.
My husband used to do that too until I started watching them. And I was like, look how funny I am.
Like, I'm like, literally divorcing him for it. I'm just totally kidding. But yeah. And just, if I can tell you guys anything, it's seriously what she says is find your brand, find what is going to make you special. That is, Ashley Molstad's my upline, and that's one reason why she is so successful at what she does. She doesn't sell Beachbody. She doesn't sell the programs. Hell, she doesn't do them half the time. But what she does is sells herself and her brand and her personality, and people join for her. People can get Beachbody anywhere. They can go to Amazon, they can go to eBay, they can go to Sally Sue down the street, and they can go to their best friend that I'm sure is selling, Beachbody at this point. But they come to you for a reason, and that's because you bring value. Whether you think you do right now or not, whether you're a new coach or an older coach, or you're still trying to find your feeding, or you still don't even have freaking trust and faith in yourself as a leader, let alone to lead other people, or trust and faith in you in your journey, let alone to help other people in their journey. You've got to own where you're at in your journey. And I think that was such a beautiful message, because you want to own where you're at, but you want to act and carry yourself like the coach that you want to be. I carry myself like an elite top 20 coach, because that's where I'm going to be at the end of the year. Am I there right now? No. Am I going to be there tomorrow? No. But I'm working every single day and holding myself like I am. And so when other coaches reach out to me, they're like, what are your stats? Like, you're doing insanely well. And I'm like, well, I'm just this. And they're like, my gosh, like you carry yourself so much different. And it's because I have no doubt in my mind that I will be on that top 10 trip next year. No doubt in my mind whatsoever, because my team is doing amazing things. And that's the kind of faith that you have to have in yourself, that y'all, I've literally only had a quote unquote team since January. Before that, it was just me. It was just me for literally almost an entire year. It was a team of one, hosting team calls with 2 people on it, literally was like me and Charmaine, and that is it. And now I've got 11. I had 15 souls on here at one point. And that is just so freaking amazing. And it's because I carried myself like the coach that I wanted to be every single day from the jump. From when I was an emerald, from when I was a diamond, from I was a 1-star, 2-star. I've carried myself like that elite coach that I want to be. And if that's anything that I can really hammer into you from what Alexandra said is that you've got to be that coach that you want to be. You don't belittle yourself. Well, I'm just an emerald. Like, why are they going to want to choose me when they could go to like Ashley Molstad or, like Mandy Kai or one of the other top coaches? Like, why would they want me? Because you're fucking awesome. That's why they will want you. You need to start believing you're fucking awesome. I believe it, so you got to believe it. Because if you don't believe that you're awesome, if you don't believe that you're worth joining, if you don't believe that you don't bring value into this person's life, then guess what? They have no reason to join you whatsoever. The reason I hit the levels that I hit, and the reason I change as many lives as I do, and the reason why I feel like I've been so successful at the beginning is because I have never doubted myself once that I can give them something to their life. If it's not just a friend that can help them say, don't eat the donut because you had one yesterday. Like, if that's all I can bring to their life, I knew that I could bring that. And now, of course, I've got other resources and I've got other, systems and stuff like that to bring other value. But then guys, think you're on the number 41 team of the network. That's value to bring. That's stuff that I provide to you guys that you guys can provide to your coaches and say that, yeah, like I give you all these resources because I give you the resources. You're part of the number 1 team in the network. Like the number 1, you've got all those resources. So like Alex says, there's no lack of resources, just lack of resourcefulness. And you have just got to make that decision to show up unapologetically you every single day without fault. So I was obsessed. I hope everybody else, does anybody have any questions? Unmute yourself and ask any questions. It can be about anything. Literally, it can be about her dog. I don't care. I don't even know if she has dogs. Do Canadians have dogs? No, nobody has any questions. Going once, you're only going to get Alex this one time. Speak now, forever hold your peace. Seriously, no freaking questions? See, I always hate this part when I ask for questions and then everybody just sits there silent and just stares at me blank. No, I don't want to be the first one to talk. But if somebody else talks, I sure as hell talk. Okay, so I'm going to ask a question because maybe I can break the ice. It's 9:30, y'all. You want to go to bed early? Shit, you really think I'm going to let you do that? So my question being, when you had that stall, you said you had 4 to 6 months. What got you past that? What made you still keep showing up every single day when nothing was happening really?
My pride. I honestly did not want anybody to know that I started something and failed. So I just kept showing up, but I was not happy about it. I was like, this is hard. And I also jumped in a coach pod with other girls, and I just shared that with them, and they were so awesome. They kept telling me don't quit, you're doing good. And I lost all belief in myself, and I was like, this is so hard. But then I started reading the personal development, and the Build to Last really, really changed it. I think that was a really good book for me.
I still haven't read it. I keep contemplating. It's been so in my
quick. You can read it in 2 days. It's so
been
quick.
In my Audible library wish list forever, and I just still haven't done it.
It's really good. Yeah. So I just honestly, my pride in not wanting others to know, because everybody's watching, and I didn't want to let people down. And I had a successful challenge group, but they were all older people that had joined my first few months. So I was like, if I stop showing up, then I failed them, and I'm gonna be the shittiest person. No one's gonna think that I could do this, and I want to prove to them I can. So I just kept going and going, and then things slowly started turning around. And I will never give up, because I do not want people to see that I gave up, because I talk so good about it that I'm if one day I give up, they're gonna be like, damn. So
it's the same thing with my husband. I had to like really chat with my husband about really not letting me, but being on board with this. Cause let's be real, like he can't let me do shit. I'm just going to do it anyways. But like really just kind of being on board about this. And whenever I thought about quitting, I was like, oh my gosh, I really don't want him to tell me I told you so. Like, I really don't want him to be right. And so that fueled me even more. And then burning the boats, like literally I quit my job within 3 months and had no backup plan. And so it kind of was like sink or swim. And this bitch ain't about to sink. So that's kind of like mine also. So I love that. Does anybody else have any questions?
I have something.
I told you. I just had to break the
I had to remember what it was. But in your emails that you were having people like pick their Shakeology flavors, the first link, the step 1, you had like a link to click here to select your package. What did you have linked there? Was it like was it to your site, or was it to like a list of challenge packs, or?
Yeah, so I just went on Canva and I made a real quick the 3 main challenge packs, the basic, the deluxe, and the mega, and those are really what I just focus on, because I feel like they're the best things that we offer, those 3 challenge packs. So I just had those 3 there. And like I said, if there's price objections, I'll switch to an order form that has different options with like the bod, the $99 one. And I don't offer it alone ever in my order form. I always put at least the sample pack of Energize, because that shit is like, if you drink it for 10 servings, you will never stop drinking it. So you have to at least give them 10 servings of it. And it's just like a non-negotiable.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
No problem.
And I have tons of those graphics, so I can post them in the team page for y'all to be able to share that. And that's something that I really need to get in the habit of is, one, email sucks for me. Like I don't know, maybe it's because I'm like talking to a bunch of 20-year-olds, because I am a 20-year-old and they hate email as much as I do. But I do all of my conversations on Instagram. And so always having like sending like photos and having them choose, I've always just been, I don't know. There's been a limiting belief there, but that's good for like volume and stuff. And you never know. You can never like, I always say you don't ever want to sell out of your own pocket, meaning you don't ever want to, maybe somebody is willing to spend $300 and you're not willing to. So, but if you don't give them the option, they don't know that they can. And so like, I always ask if they at least want to add Energize to their challenge pack with the Shakeology. It's like she says, because you do it once, you're hooked. Like I will, like even if I give up working out, which obviously will never happen now, but I feel like I would still need Energize just to adult. So I love that. So I will share some of those graphics. I also have ones for Morning Meltdown 100, because that's coming up. We're going to be doing an official test group in July for that. So does anybody else have any questions before we head out? No? Nothing? All right, let's get a picture. Turn your cameras on if you can. And then I'm going to let y'all go to bed early, I guess. All right, smile. All right. Love y'all. Mwah. Thank you, Alex.
No problem. See ya.
Bye.